I literally just pay attention to what the things are that they like. Like my 9 and 11-year-old, they like this thing, we call it the question book. Greg hates it. But I'm like, I don't care. They like it. So I'm going to keep doing it, right? Even though it's literally like, it's like 365 days of questions, but it has for 3 years. So we've been doing it for like 5 years or something.
That's why I hate it.
That's why it's been too
5
long.
years is enough.
But I'm like, we still have a 9 and 11-year-old. So that's something they like. So how do I get them to do devotional? I just say, we're doing the question book, and they want to come because that's what they care about. If I'm like, come here, we're going to watch this podcast, they're like,
Yep.
they don't
Or
care about that.
we'd get in the car for years and we'd put on an audiobook
Yeah,
and they're
they
like
hated it.
reading and they'd say it out loud like, "Boring, this is so boring." And so instead of like forcing it or like, "Well, you don't want to be a dummy, so listen," whatever. Well, okay, what story would they like? Let's put on a story they would like. So 9 and 11, um, all of the Wizard of Oz, all of the Little Britches, all of the Chronicles of Narnia, all of Betsy Tacy, on and on. I'm like, we would go through those books, the classics abridged version. And so we're all listening to books. We like when they were little and they were like, boring, boring. We went through this, The Inheritance. It's like 5 long, long books about dragons, Aragon and the dragons. The whole family loved that book series, and it was packed, really packed with life lessons,
But
but
I
the kids
think,
couldn't get enough of it. So if what you're offering is boring to them, change it. Find
yeah,
it at their level.
because especially when you're starting out and you're trying to create this habit, it's more important that you create the habit than what's actually being offered, if you wanna say it that way. Like, I might think, "Oh, well, this is what I want it to be," but I'm gonna start back where they are at and have them move up that way. Because once it's a habit to them, then I can throw in some more boring stuff, and they're not so resistant because they're used to the habit, right?
Now, some of you are trying to read to your kids from Leviticus because you're like, the Bible's important, and then Numbers is next. And
And
then
the important thing is that we're establishing this habit of family togetherness. What we do, I think, is less important than the fact that we're actually doing it. Now, it can also become a tool, especially once it's a habitual thing where you can throw in these teaching moments, right? But it's
but
more important to establish the habits
the
first.
best way to do that is through Pollyanna and
Oh,
Heidi.
yeah, of course, absolutely. But I'm
Like,
I'm
spot on. They don't even realize you're, like, giving them the greatest life lesson of Pollyanna and Heidi, right? And you can stop and be like, "Wow. Wow, wow,
yeah.
wow. Wow, that's so good.
Mhm.
I wanna be better like that." And they hear you say things, they hear you capturing
Mhm.
lessons
Mhm.
from it instead of, "Everyone sit down, kids. Um,
We're gonna
I'm gonna
talk
I'm
about
gonna tell you about being a good person." So when I was homeless, I think I was 17 at this point, um, I literally had no place to stay. And so one of the kids from school, he was like, "Let me ask my mom if you can come stay with us for a little." Thanks, man. I'd appreciate that. It's pretty cold. It was winter. And so I went and I stayed with their family. And they were a good family, but they made their kids wake up at like 5:30 or something. It was really early. Everyone's forced to go down to the table. So I joined them. And I remember as a 17-year-old sitting there like, this is the most boring, boring, excruciating family together lesson time I've ever like I wanted to pull my teeth out and go sleep outside again. Like it was so bad. And I forgot about it until right now. I was like, I think that was just cemented in my subconscious. I'm like, when I have kids, man, I'm making our family time like fun and exciting and not at 5 a.m. and not like so boring and dry. Like their kids were just so resentful. And it was later in life, I watched their kids just rebel and disappear. And Sad took his own life. And I'm like, they just went down. He sat, nothing sunk in. So they were checking the boxes, doing the things, but nothing like sunk in and stayed. because the presentation was so bad. That's my rant.
And
It's how does a family recover from the bad presentation once the kids are young adults? Well, it's how does a family recover bad presentation no matter how old they are? The cool thing about that is we can do it immediately. Let's say, for example, I've been giving boring presentations for 10 years and then I realize, wow, these are really boring. The next day I give a good presentation and they're like, wow, that was good. And then the next day I give a good one and they're like, that was really good. What a cool story. And then the next day I share a quote and they're like, oh, that's fantastic. And then the next day I do something totally different. We listen to a song that they like and they're like, that was cool. Like, what happened? You can change direction immediately.
well, and I would say even if like if you don't know how to go from a bad presentation to a good presentation, you can still change immediately by no presentations, right? Like that's the next step is like stop giving the bad ones, right? Now be quiet. While you and that alone can like change things because the kids are like, "Oh, this is different. This used to be lecture time and now it's nothing.
The silence.
Interesting, different." That begins to change the trajectory as well because you're just doing something different than you used to do. I've told you one of my phrases. I don't know why this sticks with me so much. It does. It works for me. Whatever you think the opposite. Like whatever you used to do maybe try the opposite of that. Don't do that. Do the opposite. That works for me a lot of times. It helps me to change my way of thinking. It helps me to make new neural pathways. It helps me to try new strategies that are more effective. Whatever you think the opposite. All right.